Hello there. Are you at the point in your anorexia recovery where you're wondering, why is this taking so long? It's taken so long, it's gotten dark and kind of spooky. Well, if you're wondering that, then watch the following video, like or subscribe, and peace. Hello there, my name is Billy Juliana. I'm 49 years old and I have a 40-year history of dealing with anorexia nervosa, and I'm currently following the recovery methods espoused by Tabitha Farrar, Kayla Rose Katecki, and Elisa Orris. And while I am under a covered porch, I'm also outside, which means that I have all the sound effects you can possibly imagine in my audio circumference, so just enjoy. And I wanted to ask a simple question, and that is, why is anorexia recovery taking so long? Because I'm not very patient, and this is trying my patience. This recovery process is really getting old. So why is it taking so long? Well, I think that this video may be one of a series of videos about this very topic, because actually I think that there are many reasons why, for older adults who have had the disease for a very, very long time, recovery takes a long time. Just our biologies are so wrecked that we are going to want to eat enormous amounts of food and rest for a prolonged period, because there's a lot of repair work that needs to be done. So that's just a number one reason why anorexia recovery takes a long time. But I have to ask myself also, is there a way in which I am prolonging the process? And the answer to that is yes. Is there more than one way in which I am prolonging the process? Yeah, and the answer to that is yes. I prolong the process in every way. So let's just look at this for a second, and that is, what's the method of recovery that I have chosen? The method of recovery I have chosen, in my humble opinion, is the most sensible and logical method of recovery out there. And it's very, very simple. That is unrestricted eating for life. And that means at the outset and for a long time, a lot of food. Unrestricted eating for those coming from a starved place means wanting to eat the opposite of starved, and that is everything all the time. A constant feed nearly. Actual consumption, not thinking about food, but actual consumption of it. So that's one thing. And then also prolonged period of rest. We can handle that. We've moved and compulsively exercised for so long that we can handle a prolonged period of rest. The plane is seconding my thoughts on that. And the third thing is no more body weight suppression. No more ideas about where my body should end up in size, shape, or form. Let my body do the work on that one, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. That should be pretty simple too. I just leave it up to my body. Number three is where I get hung up. I don't know about you, but I get hung up on that third one. And then I think about it and I'm like, you know what? I actually get hung up on 1, 2, and 3. And gosh, it is so simple. It's just like the little recovery waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And my coach on her YouTube channel has made several videos recently where she's answering questions that people are asking her about anorexia. And they're all different types of questions. Things like, I'm this, I feel this, or I'm going through this. And her answers are so strikingly similar to every question. They're always, you are thinking about food, you need to go eat a ton of it, and you need to sit yourself down and rest. And you know what? You can't worry about what your body weight is. I don't care if you're coming from a BMI that is normal. If you've restricted yourself, you need to keep eating and let yourself gain to whatever weight your body deems necessary. I don't care if you've already gained a lot of weight. I don't care if you're in the middle of recovery and you've gotten into the middle of BMI zone and you're still starvingly hungry. You need to eat unrestrictedly and rest, period. Shut down, mic drop. And that's very, very simple. So, okay, here I am chugging along in my recovery journey, and I'm 2.5 years in, and I'm thinking it's real simple, but it's real hard, and I'm making it really, really hard. So I have to ask myself now, are you committed to anorexia recovery? All right, then, do you want to recover from anorexia? Let's take a step back from that then. What the heck is going on? And so now I have really come to realize that recovery should be really, really simple, and yet I have such a complex background of anorexia and anorexic thinking that all my perceptions run through an anorexic loop and complicate everything else, to the point that I actually am content with being a restrictive person. That's what I identify with. Now that may sound really kind of crazy and weird, because we're all coming onto YouTube and we're all diving into recovery because we are so not content with being restrictive. We're so not content with being anorexics. We want to be our fullest potential. We want to be better people, etc. and beyond. So why are you saying you're content with it? Why are you saying you actually like being a restrictive person? That's almost a pro-anorexia thing to say. Go onto one of those weird websites where they're all in it and they all want to do that stuff. Go off YouTube for recovery. And I'm like, well, I just want to air it because I think it's important to talk about the investment that I perceive I have in being a restrictive personality or a restrictive person. In fact, anorexia has taught me over time that this is what I do best. So now that I've gotten into the normal weight zone, my anorexia is saying, okay, hold on right there, stop. You're in the normal weight zone. Nobody else thinks you're sick. So while you are still wanting to eat tons and tons of food, I'm going to say, don't eat tons and tons of food. I'm going to say, restrict and go back to the type of life that you do best and just live in the struggle. That's what you like, isn't it? And I'm like, really, no, it's not. I hate this. But there is a part of my psychology that is all about being this restrictive person. And I want to deracinate that. I want to take that out of my brain and exorcise the demon. I know I'm using mixed metaphors, but excuse me. It takes all that I can get to get rid of anorexia and anorexic thoughts. And one thing is to air the ugliest bits, and that is some weird ways in which anorexia has benefited me. And I know I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. I find myself a bit stuck in anorexia recovery now that I'm in the normal BMI zone, because here comes my anorexia trotting back in to play upon all my fears about where my weight will end up and say all these things to me that I'm perceiving are correct. And it's very, very odd. I'm saying perceiving correct because they aren't correct. They're anorexia and they're sick and they're diseased. Now I have to ask myself at this point, do I want to recover? The answer is yes. I don't even really know what recovery looks like because I don't even really know who Billy Juliana is. But I'm pretty sure that Billy Juliana is an okay person with unique characteristics, and I'm not trying to be all lovey-dovey. I'm just trying to say that I don't really think that I want anorexia anymore. So, okay, can I commit to anorexia recovery? Yes. How do I do that? Go back to eating 100% to mental and physical satiety and act like I don't care about weight gain. In fact, act like I want to gain more weight. Act like I want to gain as much weight as possible in order to satisfy those mental and physical hunger cues. Again, I know you're thinking that what I've said about liking anorexia and liking restrictive lifestyle may sound so strange, but I just want to root out all the really ugly stuff that is in my brain that is making this process more difficult than it should be. And I want to say that my perceptions are all crazed. They're all diseased. And while I think that I get benefits from anorexia, it's all wrong. And I have to just stay with the simple path my coach keeps talking about. And I will eventually end up being the real Billy Juliana. I have no clue who that is, and there's a big blank space right now, but something will come in and fill it, and it won't be an evil demon. Of course not. It'll be still impatient probably, but it won't be an evil demon. Now, I also want to just say something that just happened recently. Of course, we've just had the holidays, and I want to wish everyone a happy holiday season, but I don't want to date this video by getting too far into that kind of thing. But I do want to say that I've had some relatives who've come into town, and yesterday we were riding around in the car, and my sister, who comes up with the greatest stuff, said that she just had the opportunity to see the lead singer of the Talking Heads, David Byrne, in a particular concert in New York City, where she lives. And she has great access to wonderful music there in New York City. And the plane is flying away to New York City to take people to those great shows. Fine, we have country music here. Take that. Anyway, so she got to see David Byrne, the lead singer of the Talking Heads. And I thought to myself, oh, Talking Heads, cool. And then I realized, oh, that's kind of a pun. That's what YouTubers are. David Byrne foresaw that way back in the 70s. Everybody's just a talking head, and that's what a YouTuber is. The other thing that struck me is that there was a movie the Talking Heads made back in the 80s called Stop Making Sense. And I think that that is particularly apropos for anorexia, and that is, just look at your disease and go, stop making sense. Because our disease will seize upon everything that is so whack out there in society. Everything out there is just a little bit off. And our disease seizes upon that stuff, and it's like, see, it makes sense. It makes sense. What makes sense is for a starved person to eat a lot of food for as long as it takes, and to gain a lot of weight way outside whatever we thought it should be in order to optimize our health. And see, there's another plane going by saying, right on, man, high five. And I'll give it a really high five. Yes, indeed, it only makes the most sense for a starved person to be really, really simple with this and go from starved to eating loads of food and allowing our bodies to do whatever they need to get optimally healthy. So I'm going to use the Talking Heads Stop Making Sense to apply to the freaking anorexia, which has all this logical argumentation going on in my brain that is prolonging my recovery by keeping me from eating unrestrictedly. All these arguments are going on saying but, and hello, and you have gained weight so fast, and you've gotten up into this weight zone, this normal BMI zone, and you only are going to gain weight rapidly again if you fully eat to all that your body is asking for at this point in your recovery. And so that will only land you in a weight zone that is unacceptable and is unhealthy, and your life will be complete crap, because this is what you do best. You are a restrictor. And I want to just say, stop making sense. That's stupid.
Stop making sense. Stop making sense. Stop making sense. Making sense.
What really makes sense are the 3 steps of recovery, and those are eating unrestrictedly, resting for as long as it takes, which is probably the rest of our lives. Just want to throw that out there. And then also no more suppression of body weight for the rest of our lives. Look, we are this far along in our lives. Some of us have lived over half of our lives with this disease. Time to switch things up. And while our diseases are telling us, but you love living this way, I want to just say, stop making sense, dumbass. So less of this illogical stuff over here that seems very logical, but has no rationale to it whatsoever, because what has it done to us? It has starved us and deprived us and depleted us and kept us from life for so long. And yes, many of us don't know who the heck we are and what life really is, but we don't have to fear the overwhelming woomph of life. We just want to leave starvation behind and restriction. We just want to leave that. The rest will work itself out. And so we just do the simple steps. The simple steps that are unrestricted eating for life, prolonged period of rest, and no more body weight suppression. And anytime this illogical voice comes up, I have to go eat something. And that's the simple answer to all the illogical voices, is going and eating something. And another plane is going by right now, and I'm gonna high five it, really high five, yes sirree. Anytime I feel like I'm having a meltdown or that my body is out of whack and that I'm doing things wrong and that I hate myself, etc., that's all anorexia. It is all misperceptions. I need to go eat something. And I mean that. I need to go eat something right away. So having said that, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to stop being a talking head and let you go live your lives in peace. And please, in the process of doing so, rest up, take care, eat unrestrictedly, and definitely peace. See you next time. Bye.